Today, I'm going to be talking about why your closet is holding you back from success and what to do about it. Welcome to Success Reimagined. I am Dr. Amna Shabbir, your host on this journey to thrive at the intersection of ambition and wellness. In every episode, I'll help you challenge outdated definitions of success, discover practical tools and strategies for growth without compromising your well being. I am so glad you've joined me. Let's reimagine what's possible together. Success begins when we stop holding on to outdated versions of ourselves and make room for who we are today. Let me tell you a story of something that happened very recently to me. It was winter break. I walk into my closet. I just look around and realize 80% of what was in my closet were things that I was not actively using, and 20% was what I was using. And there was all this stuff taking up all this space and creating all this overwhelm because it was all there. That meant it had to be organized. It had to be put in appropriately for me to feel well, because when my environment is cluttered and there are all these things around me, I feel my mental well-being takes a hit. And I know that I'm not the only one. There's research that tells us for our own well-being and how much we can achieve in life, the environment that we find ourselves in makes a huge impact. And the first thing that most of us see during the day is after using the bathroom, you go into your closet and you look around, and the first thing that hits you in the morning is all the stuff. And most of that stuff is what you have not used in a long time and you're not actively using. So for me, that project was decluttering and letting go of 80% of my closet, which was so freeing. And today I'm going to walk you through how you can also achieve that. And we're going to ask key questions on how you can get rid of so much stuff in your closet and really set yourself up from success from the morning. So I asked myself this question: why do we hold on to things? Why am I doing this? Why am I holding on to stuff that I'm not using right now? Why is there so much clutter in my physical space? And how is this impacting my mental and emotional well-being? And what actionable items can I do and can I take to redefine what success means for me when I am talking about decluttering? And I know when I talk about spaces and places, it's very broad. So today I really want to just focus on clutter in your closet. And I will also share this very interesting information I read in this book, The Happiness Project by Gretchen Rubin. And she talks about 6 types of clutter in the book. And I'm going to talk a little bit about those because I found them very fascinating. And it helped me recognize, oh, I am holding on to these things for these specific reasons, and how can I just start letting go? So first, let me talk to you about the 6 types of clutters that Gretchen Rubin talks about in her book, The Happiness Project. So the first clutter she talks about is nostalgic clutter, items that evoke memories, but they no longer serve a purpose. And we all know, especially the ones that have children in the audience, you know how you're holding on to specific things that are so meaningful to you, but they're not serving a purpose right now. One thing that I talk about is the art that my kids make. I just want to preserve all of it. And there's no way that I can preserve all the art because by the time I'm done organizing, they are art making factories. They love to create. They have already created another pile of lovely artwork for me. I just feel like I'm drowning in it. I can't keep up. So how can I remind myself that it's okay to let go of some of this, pick things that are, pertinent and important? So looking around, I'm sure you'll see a lot of items. Maybe they're from college, they're from school days. There's all this nostalgic clutter that we hold on to. It's not necessarily a bad thing for all items, but it's there. And it's really important for us to actually recognize its presence. The second type of clutter she talks about in the book is conservation clutter. These are things we just hold on to as a just in case in the future that they might be useful someday. For example, these are the old clothes in your closet that you haven't worn in years, but you think that you might just need them someday. You might be holding on to them as a mixture of nostalgic and conservation clutter, but some of them are just conservation clutter. Like, how many items have you purchased, you've put in your closet, and you've actually never worn them? You think you might need them, but you haven't. And it's been more than 5 years. Let's face it, there are items like that in your closet. A question that I found really helpful when I was going through my own closet, I asked myself, is this truly useful? Or am I holding on out of fear of needing it in the unlikely future? And yeah, I mean, there's fear. There's also a little bit of a buyer's remorse, like, oh, I paid money for this, it's just there. So how many items in your closet fall in that category? After that, the third type of clutter she talks about is aspirational clutter. Aspirational clutter is possessions that represent the person who we want to be rather than who we currently are. So that is somebody that we want to become in a future date, but we're not there yet. However, we have items that represent that. A very good example of that, again, is in your closet. It's clothing that is ill-fitting, it's tight on you, it doesn't fit your current body type, but you're holding on to it. In the future, when you will be that shape, you're going to get to wear that at that time. I really struggled with this aspirational clutter for a very long period of time. I went through this long journey of what I call my healthy goal weight aspiration, my healthy body type aspiration. And I really hit that goal weight, and I'm very proud of myself. And this moment happened, a recognition, I was holding on to some aspirational clutter, and I'm clearly at my goal weight right now. I go and I try on these clothes, and they were never meant for my body type. And I just didn't feel good in them. And yet I had been holding on to some of these pieces for, let's say, 2, 3, 4, 5 years, some of them. And so I recognized that this is something that I wanted, but also it was funny for me to recognize that, well, it's really not even meant for me. And instead of feeling bad about that, I just recognized like there are all types of bodies in the world and all bodies are beautiful. And this is just not for me. Even at my aspiration, it just wasn't for me. So it was the act of letting go of this aspirational clutter. It helped me accept and celebrate who I am today. And we don't have to wait for that. We don't have to wait for these things in the future, because that is the antithesis of actually feeling successful. It is taking up space in your closet, and it's bringing up a lot of unwanted emotions when you go and you stand in front of these items that you are aspiring to fit in. It's bringing a lot of judgment and shame that you're bringing along with you, and we'll have a whole different episode talking about that. But look around you in your closet, and what are the pieces that fall in this bucket of aspirational clutter? After that, the fourth category she talks about is outgrown clutter. Belongings that once served a purpose but no longer fit our current lifestyle. Examples are t-shirts that tend to hang on in our closet spaces forever. They were great for me when I was in my teens and my 20s, but they're not the kind of t-shirts I'm going to wear right now. Let's just be honest. So when I looked around, there was a lot of clutter that I had just outgrown. The style wasn't the one that I was wearing right now. They didn't match my personality. So I had to also stop and ask myself, what here falls in that category of outgrown clutter? And this no longer aligns with my present self, and how can I let it go? After that, the fifth type of clutter she talks about in the book is items we use but shouldn't, because they are not ideal or don't bring us joy. She calls it crutch clutter. Example is old, worn out clothes that are easy to wear but don't make us feel good about ourselves. So the question that I ask myself is, do I actually enjoy wearing this, or am I just keeping it because it's convenient? It could be oversized t-shirts. For me, I used to enjoy it at some point, but I feel it doesn't bring me much joy right now. So, falls in that category. Why do I need to keep holding on to this? Why? The sixth type of clutter she talks about is buyer's remorse clutter. Things we keep because we don't want to admit they were a bad purchase to begin with. Its example is like some expensive clothing you rarely wear but feel guilty discarding because of how much you spent on it. It also can be beautiful items that you purchased, and yes, they were expensive, but they were ill-fitting. They also fall in a combination of the other types of clutter, and you just hold on to it. Well, when we're just holding on to it and you look at it every time you have to go somewhere, you're not really using it. It's just there. It is also prolonging that guilt that you feel. That is something I recognize. It's just prolonging all that emotional journey that comes along. And when you let go, it just takes off that emotional burden of buyer's remorse. It's just looking at you. So this was a summary of the 6 types of clutter, which I found really helpful when I walked into my closet and I was looking around and asking myself, well, this is not how I want to define success for myself when I start my day in the morning, because it definitely affects me. Ways that it affects you when you're trying to redefine success for yourself, in specific, just the clutter in your closet, there are three things that it affects. Number one is the mental clarity that you are limiting for yourself by waking up and walking into all this visual noise that is so hard for yourself. And how can you focus and feel calm? So you walk into a tidy space that's curated with things that you're actually using. It's such a positive way to start your day. The second thing is emotional well-being. When we're holding on to things out of guilt, fear, shame, nostalgia, it weighs us down automatically. And success isn't about having just stuff. It isn't about abundance. You know that. It's about having what truly serves us and uplifts us. And that's just not the case when your closet is filled with things, which in my case was 80% of it, what I wasn't using. And the third thing I like to point out is decision fatigue. I can say decision fatigue over and over again because we are all suffering from it, especially high achievers. I mean, there's so many decisions that you're making every day. Like you wake up in the morning and you walk into your closet. Now you're hit with all this emotional situation that you have to deal with. Oh, look at the clothes that I bought. There's buyer's remorse. There's guilt. There's shame. This is not fitting me. I wish this would fit me. This is crutch clutter. All those things. It just keeps hitting you. And then you have to also make this decision. Well, where is this stuff that is fitting me? Where are the clothes and the items that truly give me joy at this time? And I have to now choose. I'm making decisions again. So the third thing that's happening for your well-being and affecting your success is decision fatigue. So if you walk in, you know the items that give you joy, that fit you, that make you feel positive, that make you feel empowered, your decisions are so much easier to make. With this, I'm now going to transition into 5 practical steps that you can take for cleaning out your closet and redefining success in your closet. So the first step for anything is observation. I want you to walk into your closet and observe without judgment. Spend a few minutes simply looking around and asking yourself, how does this make you feel? How does your closet make you feel right now? Observation. Second step is ask key decluttering questions. Some of these questions that you might find helpful, I did, are when was the last time I wore this? Just look at the clothes around you. The second is, does it fit my current body and lifestyle? And the third is, does it bring me joy when I wear this item? Number 3 step is sort into categories. You can decide if you want to keep the clothes, you want to donate, or you want to discard. Keep, donate, discard. Be honest with yourself. Try to keep only the things that really align with you and they represent your present self, not who you were, not who you want to be, but who you are and who you really want to feel like. The fourth step is to organize thoughtfully. You want to create a visually calming space for yourself. If you want to use matching hangers and sort by categories, please go ahead. And you can even add small decorative touches like a plant, some scented sachets around to make it more inviting. And the last thing, which is the final step, I really want you to also focus on that, which is before buying something new, ask yourself, do I really need this? And does it suit who I am today? Do I really need this? And does it suit who I am today? I was watching this Netflix documentary that I believe came around Thanksgiving of 2024, Black Friday, around that time, called Buy Now. I'm sure many of you have heard or seen it. And it really made me lean into and think about the environmental impact of our consumerism. We're just buying things so easily. It gets delivered on our doorstep. So before you press that button of Buy Now, just pause and think, do you really need that item? In summary, starting with my own story, you walk into your room and you walk into your closet, you look around, you recognize clutter comes in many forms. So don't judge yourself at that moment. Just acknowledge that you are witnessing this and it's okay. Try to create clutter-free spaces to promote your calm and clarity and a successful mindset. And I really invite you to start with a small step. You can just take 10 minutes today to observe your closet. And if 10 minutes sounds very long, you just take 5 minutes, just walk into your space and observe. Even if you can identify one item or one type of clutter from the 6 types I mentioned today, it's a success. It's a step. Small steps are important. Don't discount the importance of micro moments. And I would love to hear any decluttering stories that you want to share with us. Reach out to me on social media, comment where you're watching this video. Tell me any decluttering insights that you have. How has managing your closet, letting go of items, helped you feel successful and lean into that? I am so excited for this journey that you're going to be taking on by redefining success, starting from your closet today. You might believe you don't have the time or energy to focus on yourself, but this is exactly the right time to get serious about your well-being. You don't have to do it all alone. I'm here to help. If you enjoyed this video and are ready to take the next step, head over to dramnashabir.com where you'll find free resources you can access right away. The website link is below. Let's get started on your path to thriving.